So we're making the latte, and we had a great conversation about the different choices of beverages you could use instead of coffee. So like I said, in this instance, I'm using this roasted dandelion tea. Sometimes I'll make that tea with burdock root. There is something called Dandy Blend, but that also has elements of rye and barley, which have gluten in them. And so when you look at alternatives, if you feel like you have a gluten intolerance, then go ahead and pay attention to things like Ticino and oh, what is it? I remember people using postum when I was growing up, and that's a chicory root. Chicory is fine, but they often put in barley with it, and barley has gluten in it. So I just want people to know there are alternatives to that, to having coffee. Again, nothing wrong with coffee if your body is okay with it, and you can do that. So then I put in half a cup of almond milk, and we were just talking about how you can make your own almond milk. And that if you are going to be using a lot of almond milk, you want to take the covers off, the skins off the almonds. So, all right. And then my frozen banana. And again, if you can't handle bananas due to the sugar content of it, something to consider is a frozen zucchini. You peel and slice your zucchinis and just put them in a bag or a container, and then take out what you need. There's no flavor really to zucchini, but it really makes things creamy. And even though I'm using part of an avocado here, it'll just give it a little bit more of a creaminess. It won't have the sweetness that you would get from a banana, but you can always add something else in there that your body can handle for instead of the banana. So now I'm going to put part of the avocado in there. And again, this also gives you some good fats. So if you do have blood sugar issues, you want these good fats and fiber to help draw some of those, the glucose away. It's helping insulin to remove the glucose and allow the insulin to help move the glucose where it needs to be. So, anyway, so now I get to take the pit out, and this one decided to split. It is starting to get a little cooler out, although today it's a beautiful day here along the Minnesota-Iowa border. And so I won't do as much in the smoothie atmosphere here because it's just too cold. At one point in time in my life, for a few years, I was raw vegan. And also because my dosha in Ayurveda is kapha, cold is not, I'm actually living in a place I shouldn't be living, but this is also where most of my kids are in this area. So I am here. So a lot of warming foods, especially in the winter time, are what I gravitate towards. I do like to make sure, for digestive reasons, because people who tend to be more kapha have struggled with liver stagnation, digestive sluggishness, and so I still consume a little bit more of the raw for that. I thought this avocado is a little softer than it appears to be. It will do its job. It was soft. It was dark. Okay, so I got that in there. Is Grandpa here?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just about to
This is
leave. We'll
bad.
together home.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. Love you.
Got a taste tester.
Well, they have a 2-hour drive. He actually got out of school a little early to see my husband's mother, who's in her 90s.
Wow.
And she's wanting everybody together. And I'm like, anything we should know.
Yeah, right.
And so the other thing, and we can have this short conversation on protein powders. I usually do use some type of protein powder or greens powder or something in my smoothies, because at least for myself and most of the people I work with, protein, they showed deficient in protein, and they may be.
Yours?
Nope.
Mine now.
Okay. It's not that they're not eating enough protein, it's they're not absorbing enough protein. And protein is really important for things like tissue repair and
You need tissues?
that's okay, thank you. And so bye. Do you hear that? He says he likes your hair.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's different. Good observation, Max.
Yeah, he is very observant. But especially if you're dealing with blood sugar issues, protein, if your blood sugar, anytime your blood sugar goes over 110, it actually produces more beta cells, and you don't necessarily want that because they're like crystalline and they'll go through your veins and they kind of scratch it. And that's why people end up with things like retinopathy, neuropathies, things like that. And so the more you can protect those tissues with good protein, the better that is. Same thing with if your cholesterol levels are higher than they should be. I would rather have high cholesterol than low cholesterol, but it helps with repairing the tissues around your heart and in the vasculature going up to your heart. So I'm just going to get my protein powder and show you what this is about. So you may have seen me show this before. This is the one that I've been using. It's the brand name is Puratae, P-U-R-A-T-A-E. It's kind of light, but it's PURATAE.com. And one of the things I like is that they every time you purchase from them, they donate that money, a portion of that money, to people in other countries. And sometimes they actually donate products. This one also, and you'll see it as I take it out, has lots of, it's green, and it has mint and things like that in it. But it also has spirulina and wheatgrass juice powder and all that good stuff. So I mean, I put a couple of tablespoons of that in here. I should show you. See, it is green.
It doesn't seem like that would be very tasty with pumpkin.
Well, the big thing that makes something taste like pumpkin, or that gives us that sensation of pumpkin, isn't necessarily from the pumpkin. It's from the pumpkin pie spice, which is what I'm going to get here. Okie dokie. So this is what's going to make it taste like a pumpkin pie spice or a pumpkin spice latte, which I've actually never had, so I should probably, maybe someday I'll have one. So if you try it, you've had a pumpkin pie spice latte, you will like this, maybe. You'll have to tell me.
I have not, but it sounded intriguing when I saw it.
Yeah,
I knew it was made with healthy stuff, not the junk that they make it with at the store. So I was like, all right,
all that
I
sugar,
don't have anything to compare it to. So I'm interested.
it's still going to taste good. Hold on here. Right, I tried to be a little more organized with this, but I didn't do as well this time. So anyway, so put about a teaspoon of that in there. And you can also put in a pinch of salt if you want, sea salt, because that's going to bring out more of the sweetness. And if you're using good salt, then you're going to get those trace minerals in there as well. So I think we experimented with this before where I don't have to mute myself. Somebody said it works anyway. It like Zoom mutes it. Is it too loud?
Can't hear a thing. I can see it, but can't hear it. I remember when I used to make smoothies for a co-teacher at work. She saw mine. She's like, "What's in it?" And I told her, and she's like, "Wow, it sounds really good, but I can't get past the green color." So I had to put it in a cup that she couldn't see it with a dark straw. And then she would say how much she loved it. And then she'd open the cup and gag when she was done because it was so green.
Oh, it is the green color that goes wow. It is green. It
Oh
is
my.
green. It is green.
Goblin green latte.
There you go. It's all right. You know, there's many types of pumpkins.
Very true. So wait a minute. Is a green pumpkin, like not one that hasn't fully grown yet, but a green pumpkin, is it green inside?
No, actually
Oh,
they're
okay.
not.
Okay. I bought a
have,
green one for the first time ever. Oh, look at it. It looks
There you
like
go.
Seafoam green.
Yeah,
right,
it
go
almost
on.
looks neon or something, like it's not real.
Taste test. Oh, come on, we can't see your face,
Oh.
but there.
Oh, sorry. Figured you'd seen enough of it. So, yeah. I'm gonna put more pumpkin pie spice in, just in my own. I think it's pretty darn good, but I tend to like a little more flavor, whereas my husband, and he's not a big spice person, so this would be perfect for him. There you go. Pretty yummy. I'm gonna put the rest of this in here. I want to use my blender when I make salad dressing. So each month, you may notice I make a different salad dressing, because I feel like it's, you can make the most beautiful salad or whatever, and then you put some of these dressings on, and it's like it ruined all of your good efforts. And if you make your salad dressing right, then you can get just as much nutrition in the salad dressing as you can with like a smoothie or any of the salads or soups or anything like that. This is the other thing that's really nice with smoothies, is it doesn't take much to clean out the blender. Anyways, put that aside for later, and we're gonna make a honey Dijon dressing.
Yum.
Okay, so I just have a couple things. It's like, I know I have all these things. I went to the store, purchased my ingredients. I even got some of the vegetables and stuff prepared ahead of time. I just didn't get all of it here, so I'll be right back. Hold on. Okay, so last month, oh, she left. I hope I didn't do anything offensive. So last month, when we made our Russian dressing, that also had mayonnaise in it. And this honey Dijon mustard mayonnaise or dressing we're going to use also includes mustard, or well, it won't include mustard, but mayonnaise. And again, if you can get the avocado oil mayonnaise from Primal Kitchen, that's a really good alternative. I couldn't find it. So I'm going to pause this recording for just a moment. Yep, I got it all off. I was wearing some of my smoothie. That just shows it was good. All right, so I've got my mayonnaise here. And like I said, if you can find that avocado oil mayonnaise, that's much better. Primal Kitchen, I whenever I can find it, I get it. But I live in an area where things like that just aren't readily available. And I just need to order it and make do and say a blessing over my food and say, okay, God, I did it the best I could. Take it the rest of the way. And now I'm gonna get some olive oil. They did have some decent olive oil on sale. So yay. There is, and I can't remember the name of it right now. It's like fresh pressed or something. There's this guy who started this business where he was already traveling a lot, and he'd go to all these different olive orchards, and they were all fresh pressed. And from what I've heard, there's a definite taste difference from what we buy, what we buy here, to actual fresh pressed. And so he's got this little club, olive oil club, for people who, this is a big deal. I mean, if you can do something like that, I'd say go for it, because really good olive oil is, it's important, because like avocados, it's have a good fat. Your olive oil has this oleic acid that helps your body in terms of blood sugar and healthy fats. I guess that was done. But so making sure the quality is as good as you can possibly get is important. I mean, I've been to Dollar General and they have olive oil there, but I don't, everybody's saying, no, I wouldn't use that. Having it in a dark glass container is important, because if it's in a clear container, it degrades and makes it's just not as good a quality. I know there's, I guess you could say, discussion and controversy about even using oils in some of the health community. Some of them say we shouldn't use any oils. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I think there are some oils we shouldn't use, like canola oil or corn oil or any of those other vegetable type oils. If you can use something like an olive oil or a coconut oil or something more like that than those, because in the processing of the oils, they tend to use chemicals. Also, things like corn and those oils tend to be genetically modified. So again, just look at the source of what you're using. And if you don't have to use an oil, that's great. If you can just use the whole food to get the same experience out of your recipe, more power to you. And of course, I need Dijon mustard. I'm not using apple cider vinegar in this recipe because I want something lighter. Apple cider vinegar tends to be, it has this acetic acid, which is heavier, and it will definitely give a more distinctive flavor to this recipe. And when you're using something like the honey and the Dijon mustard, you want something less overpowering. But again, if you've got other vinegars around, feel free to play around with that. Vinegars also, they're a fermented food, so they're going to help with your digestion.
What kind did you use?
This is white wine vinegar. And it also continues to help build up some good bacteria in your body. Get those good quality colonies of bacteria in there. My kids and my grandkids always love it when the bottle makes that hearty noise.
Oh, of course. It's
Of
big business in the kids' world.
Yeah, exactly. We should all be able to laugh at the farty noise that the bottles can make. Life is too short to know that at anything.
They make good tub toys after the mustard is gone too.
What's that?
They make good tub toys after the mustard is gone too.
Really? Just
Oh,
to
yeah.
squirt with?
Yep.
Oh, see, I didn't
The
do
girls
that
have
one.
wars in the bathroom with the mustard bottles. When they're
Hopefully
here.
there's no mustard left in it. They
No, all clean.
good. Well, I will have to pass that gem along. Because well, my oldest daughter, he's now a little over a month old. And then my oldest son, he and his wife are expecting the end of the year. So
Wow.
maybe I'll just
Two
send
new
them,
babies.
I'll just send them a
And
box
the
of,
empty mustard bottles.
and they have a 2-year-old. She would love that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised that the older girls are still as interested.
And then using honey is also really good for your bacteria, for your immune system. I actually just finished the last of my local honey and they were out, so I had to go and buy some. But if you have people around you that raise bees and don't mind sharing some of their honey, that would be good. Ask some questions like, what did they do with their bees over the winter, as well as do they leave some honey for their bees, because this is kind of their food. And there's actually a guy around here who raises lots and lots of bees. He sells it. And I've been horrified by some of the things I've seen because his farm isn't that far from here. And he does not treat them very kindly. And anyway, so just ask them what they do with their bees, how do they overwinter, how do they fumigate, do they let them eat their food, that type of thing, because to me that's just as important as anything. Hold on again. You know, I'm better prepared than I thought. I'm sitting there looking everywhere for my onion powder, but I couldn't find it because it was right in front of me.
Oh my.
Anyway, so, and I thought, well, if I don't find it, I've got some dried onion. I can just put that in there too. Because it's actually gives it an important flavor. You know, kind of like that, you know, if you don't put the garlic in, you can tell the difference in some dishes if it doesn't have the garlic.
I think we probably put garlic in everything.
You what?
I think we put garlic in everything.
I sometimes feel like it. My hands kind of smell like garlic. Just about used all of my onion powder. All right. And then salt and pepper. Oh, I didn't put that. Now I get to blend again. Okay. It looks like Dijon mustard honey dressing. So now
I think I'm gonna
here.
make that tonight.
Yeah, that is, again, if you're not talking like I am, it doesn't take very long. Mm, mm. I'm going to be alone tonight. I'm going to be feasting on some of this stuff. All right, so we've got the really important piece. So the rest of it shouldn't take terribly long. I think what I'll do is just make the garden salad wrap because that uses this. And I might do a separate video on the other piece, although I can do most of that.
I gotta be on a meeting at 5 too, so
And what time is it there?
4:26.
4:26. Okay, no problem.
And I'm gonna move inside, so pardon my weeble wobbling because my
Oh,
battery's
not a
died too.
problem.
Not that I want to, because it's beautiful out here, but actually, I think I'll get a cord. That would
There
be
you
better.
go.
Ooh, and there's a spray. Where did that come from? Boots will watch. She's sitting right here.
So for these garden wraps, I'll just talk while you're weeble wobbling there.
Yep, I'm gonna run in and grab my cord. You're recording.
Yep, just like me, huh?
Yep.
Okay. So I was just gonna talk momentarily about wraps. This is the best I could find here. They did have gluten-free ones, but they were phenomenally expensive. So I just am using this. Again, and actually wraps are something that you can make. There are some really great recipes out there for like a chia wrap. I've made them and I actually make them in my dehydrator. And so you basically have a chia flax gel that, you know, you put the chia and the flax in water overnight, let it gel up. And then I'll mix it with something like maybe some tomato paste or some of the onion powder or whatever to give it a little flavor. And then I just make rounds with it on my Paraflex sheets and put it in my dehydrator. You can basically do the same thing in the oven. You just put it at a really low temperature. And I guess I wouldn't bake them for more than 5 to 10 minutes each side. And then, you know, you flip them a little bit. Some people fry them. I've never done that. But so if you got a dehydrator, they're great. And they become flexible. You don't want to bake them so much that they become like a crispy cracker. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but you don't get the flexibility that you might want with a wrap. So anyway, basically all I'm doing is making a salad that I can wrap in this. And one of the things I like to do is take the wrap and I'll put the lettuce right here. And then the vegetables in there, like I've got some carrots shredded up here, some cabbage, red onion, things like that. And I then just make the salad. I'll take some of my dressing, some of my avocado, which apparently is not as soft as I thought it should be. And then the hard-boiled eggs, and I mash that all up together, mix that in, and then wrap it up. So this is one of those things that I really want to emphasize. You can have the salad and everything all together. You can have a separate container with the mashed up eggs, avocado, and salad dressing. And then you've got your wraps. So all you have to do is lay the lettuce here. I actually tend to use iceberg lettuce because it gives it a little bit of crispy crunch and some good fiber and some good water content. And then put the salad in here and the, you know, the dressing and everything, and then just wrap it up. If you're going to be waiting to make this until like lunchtime, like you're taking it to work, I don't know if I would necessarily wrap it. I would just have everything together and separate because it could get the wrap a little mushy. But again, it's just something that you can, that prep is going to help you to be prepared and not succumb to the temptations of just something fast, which is going to, you're going to feel it later, both emotionally as well as physically. You know, emotionally, you'll feel it's like, oh, why did I do that again? And then physically, you're going to feel it because you might feel bloaty and your liver might feel a little backed up. You might get a little constipated, those types of things. Your blood sugar could go up. So I won't go into great detail on that one, but I just wanted to point out, because this is really, I'm just making a plain old basic garden salad. Like if you went to any of the restaurants and you ask for a side salad, it's basically like that. But you get to choose what you put in there. Maybe you don't like red onion, then don't put that in there. Maybe you prefer red peppers. Maybe you want some tomato. You know, whatever you have on hand that's seasonal, that can go in a salad. Put that in there. Chop up some broccoli. whatever you want, put it in there and wrap it up and go. And that was the main message I wanted with this. The other thing is that I was going to make was, again, it's something that's really easy. And I tend to do a lot of that these days, quick and easy, because everybody's always off running to someplace. And that's this pasta dish. So I know pasta, I just had you here. Where did you go? Pasta, there it is. I just had it here. Anyway, it's a gluten-free pasta. It was right in front of me. So I got this at Aldi's.
Yeah, I love Aldi.
Yep. And so a lot of this, because I was dropping my granddaughter off. They didn't have school yesterday or today. And so I was dropping my granddaughter off to hang out with her cousin. And so I'm like, hey, Aldi's. Anyway, so they have this gluten-free brown rice and quinoa penne pasta. So I've also used chickpea pasta, red lentil pasta, any of those, and you would never know. Anyway, so that's what I would make. I like the penne pasta because it just seems to absorb more of the sauces. And so all I was going to do was stir fry up some mushrooms, some spinach, parsley, green onions, just stir fry that all up, and then make kind of like a little sauce with some fresh lemon juice and again, my olive oil. And yeah, I mean, it was just a quick, simple, I just wanted again to show how you can make something really quick and easy. The whole thing, the longest thing that seems to take is boiling the water for the pasta. And so while you're boiling the water for the pasta and the pasta is cooking, you just kind of stir fry up all these veggies. And oh, and I was putting in some cannellini beans in there, again, for protein. If you or your family don't like beans as much, you can add in, maybe you already have some cooked chicken or something like that you want to throw in. I tend to roast a couple of chickens at a time, and we can eat off of one, and then I'll take and shred all the meat. And then I cook up the bones, the carcass, so then I have my, what do you call it, broth. So, yep. And you can put some of that in there too, as you're making this sauce for, to put on top of your noodles. And the mushrooms give it kind of that meaty taste, and that helps fill up your, I shouldn't say taste, texture, because it's that chew. And but it helps fill you up so you feel sated, and not because you just stuffed yourself full of stuff that may not have been good for you, like a big greasy burger from whatever burger joint.
No,
But and then I use a little bit of Parmesan at the end. And so I just wanted to point out to people, a lot of it starts with, what are you using for a salad dressing? And if you use less liquid in it, it becomes more of a dip. And to me, the basic things you need in your cupboard, in your pantry, in your refrigerator are things to make a good dip, because you can use that instead of the dips that they have at the store, but you can use those dips like to make your sandwiches. Sometimes what I like to do is make some type of a dip or a nut pate or whatever, and then have a pepper and then stuff that with the pate and maybe some sprouts and other veggies. And that becomes a really quick and easy lunch. And maybe you just want to have a dip to dip with. You know, a dressing slash dip to me is probably the most important thing you can have as part of your meal planning. More so than anything
Universal,
else. Yeah,
We even use salad dressing for meat marinades and stuff.
exactly. Yep. We had somebody who gifted us with some ribs the other day. So I made them in the crock pot. And I made kind of that marinade. And so I made a dry rub. And then I used maple syrup and stuff to make like a pasty marinade to put it on. And so maybe I should say along with good spices and herbs, but you know, that's what you use to make a really good dip with.
Yeah.
So the whole idea that I like to share with people is to take the time, you know, an hour or so if you have it, and make things that you can take with you, and it makes it easier. And then you're not as likely to go to a fast food or to the vending machine or whatever. And just start out with a little bit at a time. Maybe start out just by making a salad dressing, and see how that feels. How does it feel to make your own food? And because especially with the younger people, I notice that they don't. I'm just surprised at the amount of people that eat out more than they eat in. And honestly, with the cost of food, it's crazy. The skills to take simple ingredients like mustard and olive oil and honey and create something that's really pretty darn tasty, you know, that's part of why I teach these things, because I don't want it to be a lost art.
Yeah, it's not that complicated, but people just look at it as
Another thing
task.
that takes up their time.
Right, and they think it's complicated, but it really isn't.
Nope, not at all. Not at all.
Do you do often?
Do what?
Aldi?
No, that's the closest Aldi to me. So the closest Aldi to me is about an hour away. Like Costco is 2 hours away.
One of my favorite things that they have is a tomato basil goat cheese.
Oh, I didn't even
They
go in
sell
that.
the crumbles. So they're like itty bitty little balls. So instead of using the Parmesan cheese, I use the goat cheese. On pasta veggie dishes. It is so amazing.
There you go.
I mean, I can't
That's
make
what I
grilled
would
cheese
use on
with it,
this.
you know, but those
Yeah.
little crumbles on salad and even a little bit in a soup or something, they're
Yep.
amazing.
That would be good too if you made this salad wrap
Yep.
it up in here. That would be really, that sounds divine.
Yeah, they're so good.
Yeah, I
So-
didn't even go into the cheese section. I was like on a mission. Here's my list. This is what I-
That's usually the way I am, but I discovered the goat cheese and the tomato basil flavored one is phenomenal.
Okay, well, I may be going in that direction tomorrow. So, more pumpkin patch apple orchard with the grandkids.
Good.
Yay.
Around here, it's rained every weekend. Our places are dying because I have to keep closing on the weekend because the weather's been terrible.
Oh,
They're losing hand over foot here.
we have had a lot of rain, but see, I don't know how they're doing. I know not last week and the weekend before, my grandkids went to an apple orchard with their other set of grandparents. And it was okay. It was an okay day, but yeah, the last. And I'm looking outside and the sky's looking a little steely gray. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to do it tomorrow. But if not, there's always next weekend.
Right.
But
Thank you for the yummy recipes.
yeah,
I'm excited
and
to try them. I'm gonna do the dressing tonight for sure.
yep, as you can see, it didn't take much
No.
time. And so if anything, if it gets you to explore your refrigerator and what might be at Aldi's or any of these other stores, and you know, just ask your body, what do you want?
Yeah.
And see what comes up, because like I've always said, these recipes are meant to just be a template, a jumping off point for you to discover what works for you. So if you make the dressing, I would love to know how it.
I will let you know. And I'm tempted, I'm gonna make the latte on Sunday, I think.
Okay, all right.
But now I want to try it with coffee because I buy organic coffee at Aldi and their coffee's good. But I don't drink coffee every day. I only drink it maybe 3 times a week. And then I have some chai tea that I thought might be interesting with it.
Yeah.
So I'll mix it up and try both.
Yeah, use the chai spices instead of the pumpkin pie, although I bet they would go well together, quite frankly. Now that I think about it.
I'll give it a
Yeah.
whirl. I'll let you know next week.
Yeah, experiment. All right.
Well, it was great to see your face and talk to
You as
you.
well.
It's great to see your smile.
Yeah.
As real as we
too.
have to be, life goes on, but we got good times in between. So
Yep.
this was my good time for the day. This was my me time.
There you go. I'm glad you
right.
spent it with me.
Yes, me too. Me too.
Yeah.
All right. Take care, lady. It was great seeing you.
You too.